one topic, two guests, two perspectives, one show that gets to the point with the biggest names in business, media, entertainment, and technology. Welcome to The Point with me, Jon Steinberg. Welcome to The Point. On this episode, we're talking about fashion, what we wear, how it's made, and how we get it. Fashion is a $2.5 trillion industry worldwide, and it is constantly evolving. The speed of e-commerce is driving the industry to take products from design to shelf faster. Mobile transactions are poised to explode, forcing retailers to provide a better digital experience for customers. And the customers themselves are becoming less brand loyal. Among millennials, 2/3 say that they are willing to switch to a brand for a discount of 30% or more. So how is all of this evolution affecting the many different parts of the fashion pipeline? I spoke with fashion designer Rebecca Minkoff and Jennifer Hyman, CEO of Rent the Runway, to get a clear picture of the modern fashion industry.
Rent the Runway is a company that rents designer clothes. And we do it in two ways. We let women rent a la carte for special events they have coming up, like if you want to dress for a wedding or a gala you're going to. And we also give you the option of subscribing to fashion, which means you could basically get a new outfit from us every day. And women, for the most part, use their subscription to fashion to dress for work. And magically, it shows up. Similar to a Spotify, where I can listen to any song on earth, fall in love with it, and decide whether I want to listen to it 10 more times or pause it right away.
And how do you market to and find these women?
It's been almost 100% word of mouth.
I thought you were going to say that, yeah.
Over the last 9 years, we've spent almost no money on marketing, and the virality of the business has only increased over time. So what we've noticed is that there are these offline network effects to our subscription, where one woman signs up for unlimited, and then suddenly 2 women in her office have it, and then 8, and then 15, and then 40.
I would do this in a minute for myself.
So we actually started something during Fashion Week called See Buy Wear. So we started this in 2016 before anyone else, which was showing clothes that were made, produced, bought, put in magazines, fall and fall, spring and spring. And so while it's not fast fashion, the girl who's watching the runway show, now because it is everywhere, it's not just closed to editors and buyers, can actually purchase what she's seeing on the runway in real time. And when you think about the marketing dollars and all the effort that gets concentrated during that 1 8-minute show, you know, let's put our money into something that actually you have an ROI on.
It does seem like the fashion community spends a lot of time focused on Instagram.
We do spend a lot of time focused on it, but our customer is on it, and she's looking for inspiration, and she's looking to these women for inspiration. It's kind of how we talk to her. What
do you think of Instagram-style celebs? What do you think of the whole Instagramification of fashion?
I mean, it's where we live. You know, it democratized fashion and made it so that anyone, anywhere could see something, and it was no longer this hierarchy of the exclusive editor and the exclusive buyer determining what women could wear. Women began to be able to show their own style, and these influencers or bloggers, whatever you want to call them, became a new archetype of women to be inspired by instead of this mold that was sort of projected onto people.
9 million customers. Do you have a way of describing who the customer is, or is it everybody at this point?
She's someone with what I call a millennial mindset. So she doesn't have to be millennial, but she's someone who's a go-getter, where she wants to kind of have it all in her life. Like, she just wants to look great. She wants to feel great about herself. And the number one attribute that our 9 million customers use to describe themselves is they use the word smart. It's smarter to rent a red dress as opposed to owning it. It's smarter to subscribe and wear the trendy top to work with the jeans that you own, as opposed to buying that top at Zara and having it sit in your closet.
Do you think this model will transform the entire retail clothing industry?
I know that it will.
And who is your customer?
My customer is mostly the millennial. I am a millennial, so I am directly designing for the woman who's going through what I've gone through and are going through. She's a little bit boho, a little bit modern. We try and hit the life cycle of the 18 to the 37. So we have different product categories, different prices, all kind of taking into account of what could I afford, what can she afford, and really listening to her. You know, a long time ago when we first started doing runway shows, I was of the mindset of the great Versace. And I just wanted to make things that were beautiful, and then guess what? No one bought them.
Right.
I then would order them for myself, and then I felt weird in them, you know?
Right.
So I really began to go like, what does my customer want? What do I want? What am I gonna wear every day? So for me, with the price point I occupy, with the girl that I want to deliver to, I don't make those clothes anymore. I make real great clothes that I'm excited when she says, I wear your leather jacket every day, or you have my favorite pair of shoes. So for me, it's not about being avant-garde. It's not an art project. I think there's many talented designers that if they can afford to have their art projects, more power to them.
Yep.
But I want to dress the girl who wants to feel good every day and be fearless and, you know, going to work.
I know this to be true of men. I'm not sure if it's true of women or not. There was a movement to very casual in business, and then there was a bit of a counter tied back to a little more professional in dress. What is the trend in your world?
I would agree with that. I would say you have to get dressed up, and it's a suit, and it's very conservative, to sweatpants and tank tops and flip-flops.
Yeah.
And now I think women are taking more pride, and there's more options at better prices, and you're not in the suit, but you look great.
In the year 2000, businesses across the country started going business casual. And what that meant is women started having to spend about 3x the amount on their professional wardrobe because they needed more pieces, and all of those pieces were more expensive. Meaning in the old world, we both wore business suits to work, and we would flip out the blouse or the shirt underneath it.
Right.
In this new world, I'm wearing a skirt, a top, a cardigan, a new pair of shoes. I need new stuff tomorrow that's all different, a pair of pants and a blouse and a sweater. So it's insane for women, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like you spent the same amount of time getting ready. And that's just kind of a tax that's placed on women. Or the fact that a pair of pants, if we both bought a pair of pants at Banana Republic, my pair of pants would cost 30 to 40% more. Why? It's not that it's more expensive to make. There's an actual pink tax when it comes to women's clothing.
But I would be better off, and a lot of men would be better off if they dress like, I know guys who dress like super crisp, you know, like, and they have like the shirt and the tie and like the you know, I kind of wish I did that.
Data would actually disagree with you.
Wow.
There's actually 3 components of what that make up female executive presence. Those components are attire, communication, and gravitas. For men, attire is not on the list.
Okay.
In terms of their executive presence. So it's just like, this is how we're judging women at work. It's also how we're judging women in general.
How important is making clothes for a diverse range of body types?
I think now more than ever. I think you have to listen to your customer and what she wants. We offered a certain size range before. No one was buying, you know, the larger sizes, and people were asking for the smaller sizes.
Okay.
So we had to sort of say, okay, we're gonna make for the smaller, more petite women, and not the larger sizes. And that'll adjust and change as we grow our customer base. But if she's asking for it, we will make it.
Why do you think that was? Why do you think that people weren't buying the larger sizes?
I have no idea. We made them for a long time. We offered them, and I think now you'll see that request come in again because more and more people are listening to, you know, segment of the population that needs larger sizes. So I think we will again, you know, make it as long as they're asking.
We carry sizes 0 to 26 on our site. We have had a plus size selection for a very long time. But one of the issues in the fashion industry has been many of the designers that we work with don't produce above a size 12, whereas the average American woman is actually a size 14. So recently, as our company has gotten bigger and we've been able to put more pressure on designers, we now have pressured about 50 designers who have never produced plus size before to actually launch plus with us for the first time. One of the things that I've learned that debunked a myth that existed in the industry was that women who were larger wanted more dowdy things. They wanted the top in black, they didn't want the trendy item, they wanted to cover themselves up. That's not true at all. Women of all sizes feel great about themselves today, and they want to show off.
Coming up, how fast fashion and e-commerce are changing the industry. Welcome back to The Point. While traditional fashion players take 12 weeks taking an item from design to shelf, Fast fashion companies such as Zara have shortened that cycle to 5 weeks. Sales of the traditional fast fashion sector have grown rapidly by more than 20% over the last 3 years. I asked designer Rebecca Minkoff and Rent the Runway CEO Jennifer Hyman what that means for the bottom line.
Prior to Rent the Runway, we were already renting our clothes. We just didn't think about it that way. So the fact that we, for the most part, we're going into stores like H&M and Zara.
That's where I was going to go next. Yeah,
buying pieces that cost $20.
Disposable clothing.
That actually disintegrate when you put them in a washing machine 3 times. Like, that's a rental. Another way we rent is when we buy this massive quantity of stuff, we don't really use it, and we push it to the back of our closet. You know, actually 80% of the American closet is worn 3 times or less.
Zara and H&M are the world's largest clothing retailers. How does fast fashion affect the industry?
Fast fashion is responsible, sadly, for the most amount of waste in the industry for our planet, because there's so much that just gets put in landfills and trash. So bad on them.
Yes.
And they give the idea to the customer that she can have the same thing and quality, maybe, for a way lower price, which is not true. The stuff falls apart, doesn't wear well.
Yeah.
And, you know, prior to us switching to the see-by-wear model, I would walk into one of these retailers and see my line copied, as well as a ton of other designers copied for a quarter of the price before I even got it to market. So before we launched see-by-wear, it used to impact us in a big way because they would be able to get my goods out to market faster than I could, and for a quarter of the price. But now that we show spring and spring and fall, they actually have no time to copy us, so we get to market first. Our customer buys us first. And if they want to copy us, you know, on the back end, you know, by then my girl already has my dress and isn't needing it.
With the growth of fast fashion and e-commerce, the list of failing fashion retailers is growing. Big names such as Gap, J. Crew, Loft, and Guess entered 2018 on life support, joining Abercrombie, Ann Taylor, and Michael Kors in announcing major store closings. Here's what our guest had to say about e-commerce versus brick and mortar. Talk to me about the composition of your business.
So we want to take our brick and mortar and have it be a place where we're not worried about you buying. It is about an experience, about touching and feeling. It's about really understanding and going into the brand. So we've actually unified the division. And so it's just one number, whether they buy on e-commerce, if they buy in brick and mortar, it's one experience. And so for us, you know, I would say we're aiming to have it be 40 to 50% of our business.
I mean, these department stores are kind of screwed, right?
You know what? They're having a tough time. I think they watched and said, oh, this is not how, you know, this is not going to be how things are, and guess what it is? And people are shopping online. They're, you know, comparing prices on their phone, and it's not a good experience. And I think some people are trying to do a good job of it. I think Nordstrom is the best in terms of engaging the customer, differentiating themselves. I think this consumer, if she's going to go out, she wants an experience.
Right.
You know, she wants an Instagrammable photo. And so unless you're doing things that engage her and excite her, she's just going to go online.
My mom always says to me on my birthday, like, oh, for your birthday, I'm going to take you shopping. And that's like, that sounds like the worst thing I'd want to do on my birthday. You know what I mean?
Well, you and everyone else. I mean,
so, yeah.
It's crazy because in a world where we all lack time,
right, that's not what I want to do.
The last thing on earth I want to do on a weekend is spend time shopping, which is yet another reason why you would have a subscription to fashion. Like, this whole thing, no one wants to go into a store, like waste their time, bring things into a dressing room, and make that like decision, do I really want to spend $200 on this pair of pants that I know I'm only going to wear once or twice? Like, it's absurd. And if you think about it, like this industry, which is the 3rd largest industry on earth, it's $2.4 trillion. Until Rent the Runway, customers were given a binary choice. You could either buy something, marry it, own it for the rest of your life, and you get to wear it, or you don't get to wear it. There's no other industry on earth that's like that. Cars, you could lease cars, you could rent cars, you could take an Uber, you could take a taxi.
Yes.
Music, before Spotify existed, I could buy an individual song on Apple. So we're doing the work that the automobile industry started doing 80 years ago when they gave customers the option to lease a car.
Coming up, how does Rent the Runway's so-called closet in a cloud model affect designers? Welcome back to The Point. If women everywhere decide to rent more clothes than they buy, how does that impact a designer's business? Here's what our guest had to say. For this week's episode, we're also looking at Rent the Runway. Its mission is for women to have a wardrobe in the cloud. What do you think about that?
I think it's really smart. I think more and more women will say, you know what, I'm going to save my money on my investment pieces that I can wear every day, all day. And for the trend and the fashion, I want all these designers available to me, and for a monthly fee I can rent.
What's the relationship with designers?
It's an awesome relationship with designers. We're one of their most important marketing channels right now because we are getting millions of young women to try these brands for the first time. And we're an important channel of data now back to the brands that's helping them adjust how they manufacture. It's helping them segment their customers in new ways.
Okay. Rent the Runway also says that their channel provides valuable feedback for designers, not dissimilar from what Spotify says about musicians. And have you found that to be the case?
Yeah, I mean, my team that works directly with the buyers often are the ones that are getting this data and feeding it to me and my merchants.
Yeah.
And so everything from bad fit to, we want more long dresses to, we could have sold a ton more of these if you had it in the color red. So all those things are really valuable that, we get from our own stores, but it's nice to get it from another partner.
But will you change what they sell and what they rent? Will a designer say, I'm going to manufacture enormous amounts of black dresses if they weren't already because people are going to buy that, and I'm going to manufacture lower quantities of prints because we know that prints tend to be rented more because you can't wear a print 15 times.
That's what designers were already doing before us. So designers would build a collection, and the things with the highest sell-through were actually the boring, rational pieces.
Yeah.
What Rent the Runway does is it takes all of the pieces that were the more fun, more interesting, more trendy editorial pieces, and that's what our subscription offers. So we're taking the pieces that designers are obsessed with, but that no one was buying before. Or you were buying it at Zara. You were buying the copycat trendy piece
because you could wear it so few times.
Because you could spend $20 on it. What we're actually seeing with our subscribers is once they really get into it, they start purging. They start donating things from their closet. They start using services like ThredUp to sell lots of the things that they know that they haven't worn. I mean, we have those things that we save in. A closet is fundamentally a storage facility. Like, let's stop calling it a closet if 80% of the stuff in it we never use.
Let's talk a little bit more about clothing rental. If you take that trend far enough and nobody buys clothes, everybody just rents their clothes, which is sort of like, in some ways, Jen's vision, right?
Right.
That could be bad for you, right?
Well, we'll always have clothing that they will need to buy, so I'll still design.
Right.
And you'll, if everyone decides to rent, then you're still making clothes and they're still buying units. Because she can't just buy one item. She has to buy 300 of the same thing to keep it in its cycle.
But it's a bit like Netflixing. I mean, in other words, you go from selling a bunch of DVDs to people to then renting DVDs to then streaming, right? I mean, I guess conceivably you could say at a certain point you're going to have your own subscription.
Correct. Right.
Or you could align a bundle with. Do you look at that?
We've talked about it.
The handbags, you could do it, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you don't want to do it with shoes, so shoes will never be an issue.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it with certain items that are just you don't want to share those with people.
Coming up, how technology has changed fashion and what the future looks like. Welcome back to The Point. On this episode, fashion designer Rebecca Minkoff and Rent the Runway CEO Jennifer Hyman have shown us two different sides of the fashion industry. Now they explain how technology has moved their businesses forward and where fashion can go from here. How has technology helped your business to evolve?
I think we're here because of technology. Technology allowed us to talk to our customer back in 2005. Technology allows us to now talk to her on many different channels, social media-wise. And, moving into this direct-to-consumer world, that is the only, vehicle with which you do that is technology.
Well, one of the first product features we launched on the site was the ability for any customer to upload a photo of herself after she rented the runway, tell the story of the night she rented the runway, but also kind of give important information about fit and how it looked on her, etc. And we found that women were doing this in droves. Like, we gave them no incentive, and 1 in every 3 of our customers was posting a photo of themselves.
It's amazing. So you can see somebody, you can put in your measurements and then see somebody with your measurements in the outfit to kind of get a sense of what it would look like, almost like on a model.
So before I rented this dress, I entered my height and my weight and my chest size, and I saw other women exactly like me wearing it, and it helped me determine what size. There's a lot of things that actually fit me, but I hate the way they look on me.
Yes.
So I won't wear them. And we're trying to give women the power. It's empowerment, right? We're trying to give women the power to make her own decision.
Is there a fashion trend you wish would go away?
I'm just not a fan of those platform shoes that just come back every once in a while. Glitter is making a comeback. I'm not sure how I feel about glitter. I don't like it when a woman has to hold on to her friend or her partner to walk across the street. I think any shoe that makes you do that should not be worn.
What do you think the future of fashion looks like?
I think that in the far future, you know, designers might just sketch, and you might just order and have your outfit printed, or order and have it shipped to you. And I think, you know, designers needing to have that whole supply chain and logistics and operations and production will probably go away, which would be really nice.
Now that you have a choice, you don't have to own something in order to wear it. Women are choosing wearing. Same thing with music. Like, I choose to listen to music. I'm probably listening to 100x the amount of music today because of Spotify than I was beforehand, but it's not connected to buying. And whenever in every industry we're given a choice between access and ownership, we always choose access. So that's why I know that in the future, you know, over 75% of how we get dressed is going to be by pulling down clothing from the cloud.
As supermodel Heidi Klum says, in fashion, one day you're in and the next day you're out. Which means that people who make clothes need to stay ahead of the curve, but so do people who sell them. The point is, far too many traditional retailers haven't done that. So the industry is evolving without them, providing savvy designers with cutting-edge new ways to get their products to the people who wear them. Thanks for watching this season of The Point with me, Jon Steinberg.